Hey Planty people, did you know that there are free plants all around you? In your home, in your planty friends' homes, maybe even your office? Of course, I'm talking about propagation. Okay, maybe you already knew that, but did you know that you can make a propagation root without ever even removing it from the plant? Stick around, I'll show you how that works. Yes, you can take cuttings of your plants and make entirely new plants with them. Most plants will sprout roots from a cutting, and some from just a leaf or even a small section of leaf. So the questions you need to ask are, where should I cut? And how long should I let them root? And most importantly, can I have a cutting of that fabulous Monstera? The most common method is water propagation. You can take a cutting of one of your plants, remove the lower leaves, stick it in some water, and in a few weeks, you'll see roots sprouting. You do need to change the water from time to time, about once a week or so. If you do it too often, the natural rooting hormone won't have time to build up in the water. And if you don't do it often enough, you can grow algae, which, to be honest, it's harmless to the plant. But who wants a glass of green water sitting around their house? Gross. Once the roots grow out to 1 or 2 inches long, you can pot it in some soil and boom, whole new plant. Some plants take longer to root than others, like woody plants like Schefflera take a lot longer than herbaceous plants like Pothos. Speaking of building up rooting hormone in the water, if you put a Pothos cutting in with your other cuttings, it'll release more rooting hormone into the water than any other plant. That's why I always put one Pothos cutting in the glass, just to be a coach to the other guys. Okay guys, let's get rooting. As I mentioned in my short video about propagating the Florida ghost, if you're propagating aroids like Monstera, Philodendron, Rhaphidophora, or the aforementioned Pothos, you need to include a node. If you stick a Monstera leaf in water, you might see a few roots starting, but you'll never get a plant out of it. So make sure to include a node. The easiest way to tell if you have a node is if there are aerial roots forming. Even if they're just little nubs, they'll grow and become viable roots. So be sure to cut in between the nodes and make sure the node is underwater. That's where the roots will come from. You can also propagate right in soil, and some plants like succulents prefer it. Of course you know, especially if you watch my watering video, that succulents hate wet feet, so it's actually better for them to be propped in soil. And succulents are the easiest thing to prop. You can take a single leaf, let it callus or dry out overnight, and stick the cut end in the soil. Other than watering it occasionally, that's it. In a week or two, you'll see tiny roots sprouting, and in a month or so, you'll see tiny new leaves growing. Here are some baby necklace crassula and burro's tail props I started about a year ago. Those little burro's tail sprouts each started from a single leaf. They're coming along nicely. If you want to try soil propping with tropical plants, I recommend getting some rooting hormone. No, you can't squeeze it out of your Pothos, unfortunately, but you can buy it from a plant shop in either powder or gel form. Both work really well, but the gel is a little bit less messy. You just dip the cut end in the powder or gel and then put it right in the soil. Be careful with it though, and be sure to wash your hands after. Commercial rooting hormone can cause skin and eye irritation, so don't touch your face or your eyes, and for heaven's sakes, don't inhale it. Nah, I don't know what'll happen, just don't inhale it. Ah, man, now I need to go wash my hands. While soil propping will work for tropical plants, you can't really see how far the roots have come. That's why a lot of planty people prefer water propagation for tropicals, to make sure the roots are growing and not rotting. You can also prop a succulent stem in water, but you need to check it a lot for rot. You can even prop without removing the stem from the plant. With air layering, you just make a cut partway through and dust it with some rooting powder. Then wash your hands and don't inhale. Then you wrap wet sphagnum moss around it, cover it with plastic, and secure it with twist ties or twine. Keep the sphagnum wet, and shortly you'll have roots sprouting from the partial cut. Then you cut it all the way and plop it in some soil. Then there are begonias. You don't need a node or a stem or even an entire leaf to prop a begonia. You can just take a small section of leaf, take an earth staple, or an unfolded paper clip or a safety pin or bent wire and secure it to the soil. It'll be slow going, but eventually it'll grow a whole new begonia. Of course, you can always start from seed. But when's the last time you saw pothos and philodendron seeds in a plant shop? I mean, monstera seeds must exist because monsteras exist, and monstera's fruit, and fruit is a seed container. Maybe it's because it's so much easier to start new plants from cuttings. You think? Also bear in mind that seed starting is a whole other kit to buy. You'll need peat pellets and peat pots and warming mats and little seedling greenhouses and you get the picture. So why not get together with your planty friends and have a prop swap? It's free, except for the bottle of wine you should bring, or, pre-roll if you're coming to my house. And then you swap some props and it's a great time. So, if you're lusting after your planty friend's Monstera Thai constellation, but you can't swing the price for a whole plant, just ask nicely for a cutting. It's free. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments, and please like and subscribe to my channel and hit that bell to be notified when I release a new video. You can also find me on Instagram at planty.gen, where I share photos and tips as well. If you'd like to learn more about me, please visit my website at plantygenstinylandscapes.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Time for that theme song.
If your plants look sad and you lost all hope, tried everything, you're at the end of your rope. Should you throw them out into the street? Nope, just ask Planty Jen. If you wanna be a planty acolyte, learn the tips and tricks to keep them growing right. Water, fertilizer, and the right amount of light, just ask Planty Jen.